Hi, I think it's June 16th. Anyway, I'm out here in our little block of Merlot on Red Winery Road, and this right here, up to the base of that hill, is where the Hawks Merlot comes from every year at this point. And we didn't originally start out thinking of this as a single vineyard Merlot, but now we just made our 10th vintage of Merlot, and every year I really like the wine that comes off this place. And we make Merlot also off our vineyard down on Chalk Hill Road, one of our vineyards down there, our Stone Vineyard. And as much as I love that vineyard for Cabernet, where we have the Merlot planted there is a little low-lying, and it just doesn't have the kind of characteristic flavor and spice that this place does. We had Merlot here, and then we had a total of 5 acres of it, and it continued down the field here. We grafted over to other things down below here because we didn't like how it was performing as much as we like what's up here. And Red Winery is a really hard vineyard to understand. It as you can see, it looks, with the exception of that little hill at the back, it looks just completely flat, and you'd think that it's relatively featureless, but actually what you can't see is what's going on underneath the ground. And there's been about 150 years of farming in this place, and things have been graded and graded and graded again, and drained and worked over. So you look at the surface of the ground and what you see is relatively uniform, but what's underneath is different. And a soils map of this vineyard, which is 20 acres, mostly flat, looks like a jigsaw puzzle with some sandy loam here and some clay here and some stuff that's essentially shale over here. And one of the major differences in this field is that the dirt here is just better. It's more friable, it drains better than it does down below where it's just really tough purple clay. So I really like the way the vines perform here. I like the way they look. And if you look at the canopy, you see that we get really nice uniform growth here, even though these are relatively old vines. We planted the oldest, originally we planted this place in 1973, and then we replanted it again 20 years ago. And things still look really nice. And last time we were out in this vineyard shooting videos, we were looking at flowers, and those flowers had yet to do what we call set and form grapes. This is post-set now, and the berries aren't fully grown, but you can tell what you have in terms of fruit. And it looks really nice. You can see that it's nice and uniform, and the clusters are full, but they're loose. It's great. It looks really good. And look at how old and gnarly these vines are. I was out here yesterday with a guy named Mark Greenspan, who's a consultant, and we were talking about, what do you do in a vineyard this old that deal with the fact that little by little it wants to die off on you. And his response is essentially, there isn't anything you can do. You pretty much just go along and deal with that as it happens. And just to say something negative before I leave, I saw a little bit of what's called Eutypa down here. So yeah, come down and check this out. So this is what we refer to as Eutypa, and maybe it's Eutypa, maybe it's not. But Eutypa is a kind of fungus that gets into the vine and kills the veins in the vine, kills the vascular tissue in the vine, and eventually it does that. And we come through every year and we cut off pieces of these old vines to try to stem the advance of the Eutypa. But it comes back all the time and shows up anyway. And it's part of farming an old vineyard like this. But of course, look at that, it's a ladybug. But of course, the issues of old age are part and parcel of what you get when you farm an old vineyard like this that has character that a young vineyard doesn't have. I'll take it.